Hey class, how you guys doing? It's Mr. Kleinhans here, and today you'll be learning about air masses and fronts. And this first part is from Scholastic magazine, where we're going to watch a video and then we'll answer some questions together. Then you'll see another video that shows me going over the notes, so you can watch it over and over again. And finally, there'll be a Google form that has some questions on it that you'll do. Here we go.
Snow day! Ugh. RJ, watch it. Sorry, I'm a little excited for our random day off. I can't believe there was a snowstorm. It just came out of nowhere. The snow didn't just come from nowhere. A cold front moved in. What? A cold front? A front is the boundary where two air masses clash, and weather, like snow, occurs. There are warm and cold fronts. I'll demonstrate. No, don't! Just tell me. I'm not gonna throw it at you. Listen, you know what an air mass is, right? A big massive blob of air? Kinda. An air mass is a large body of air that has the same temperature and moisture level throughout. There are four different types of air masses in the United States, and each one carries its own temperature and amount of moisture. So, what are their names? Well, two are cold and two are warm. The two cold air masses are the maritime polar air mass and the continental polar air mass. What about the two warm air masses? The two warm air masses are called the maritime tropical air mass and the continental tropical air mass. So which ones can I thank for the snow day? It snowed because one of the cold air masses clashed with a warm one and made a cold front. When that snowball hit you, it exploded, right? Yeah, and it hurt. Well, Sam, I think it's instant replay time. Let's say the snowball was a cold air mass, and you were a warm air mass. When you both clashed together, a front was made, and the ball burst. It snowed. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, this snowstorm is a result of a cold front. Cold fronts happen when a cold air mass pushes a warm air mass up. Big puffy clouds, called cumulus clouds, are formed. When you see dark clouds like those, you can bet you're in for some heavy rain, thunderstorms, or a snowstorm like this. What happens at a warm front? A warm front happens when a warm air mass catches up with a cold air mass and slowly climbs up and over it. As the warm air mass passes over the cold air, long, thin stratus clouds stretch out across the sky. A warm front can cause rain and snow too, but it's light and steady, not heavy and stormy like a cold front's weather. So a cold front means pretty crazy weather that gets me a snow day. And a warm front just means it might still rain or snow, but it won't be as intense. An air mass is a large body of air that has the same temperature and moisture throughout, and there are four types of air masses in the U.S. Each one has unique characteristics that hint at where it formed. When two of these air masses meet, they form a boundary called a front. It can be a warm front or a cold front, but either way, some kind of weather always happens on a front. Hey! Okay, I deserved it. It's freezing though. I think I'm gonna head in for some hot chocolate.
Alright, after seeing that video, we should be able to test ourselves about air masses and fronts. Now, you don't have access to this website, so you can follow along here, and then you can be able to watch next video about the notes, so you're ready to do the Google form assignment after that. Here we go. So, what is an air mass? Take a moment to read each one. Okay, you should be thinking about a large body of air with the same temperature and moisture. What forms when two air masses meet and create weather? Well, when they're going to fight each other, the air masses will fight at the front. When a cold air mass crashes into a warm air mass, what kind of front is formed? Well, if the cold air is coming in, it's got to be a cold front. There's no such thing as a hot front, and a polar front is just going to be very, very cold. What does a warm front usually bring? A light and steady rain. Take your time on this one. It's a little tricky. There we go. It slowly goes up over the cold air mass because the warm air is less dense, so it slowly rises up over it. All right, long, thin stratus clouds. So these are the ones that kind of just what the weather's been like the past few days, where it's just been a little bit of rain going on and on and on. Usually happens when there's no thunderstorms or anything like that. A thunderstorm will bring big, big, huge clouds. But a long, thin stratus cloud is going to be from a warm front. Okay, what is similar between the two kinds of maritime air masses? Well, the maritime air masses are either tropical, because it's in a warm area, like near the equator, and polar maritime, meaning it's in a cold area, like off the coast of Canada and Alaska. So maritime means over the ocean, but either a warm ocean or a cold ocean. But the ocean will tell you that it's dealing with what? Okay, so if it's over the ocean, it's dealing with some kind of humidity or moisture. Here's the last question. What will most likely happen if a continental polar air mass clash with a continental tropical air mass? So you have a cold air mass and a warm air mass meeting. Well, that warm air, right? That cold air is going to be forced under it, and the warm air is going to go straight up. If it goes straight up, it's going to make those big clouds, and that's going to cause a big thunderstorm. Let's see how we did. I hope we got 100. Hey, hey, we got 100. Good job, everybody. Hope you did well. All right, class, this is just a nice little demonstration about the cold fronts and the warm fronts. So remember, a cold front occurs when a rapidly moving cold air mass runs into a slowly moving warm air mass. Because the cold air is more dense than the warm air, the cold air pushes the warm air up. And it looks like this. So when that warm air rises, it cools down to the dew point and you get clouds, rain, and sometimes even thunderstorms. The other front is a warm front. Now cold air is in place, some kind of polar air mass. A warm air mass slowly goes over it and slowly pushes that cold air away. And you get just a light, steady rain for several days because it takes a long time for that warm air to push the cold air out. And you get those long, thin stratus clouds. Another type of front sometimes you'll hear is called stationary. This is when you have a kind of cold air, not too cold, and a kind of warm air, not too warm, and they pushing and one is not stronger than the other, so they get stuck. And nobody's winning this fight. And what happens is that warm air and cool air just kind of sits there and you get the same type of weather for days and days. So it's a stationary front. The last one is occluded, and you don't really see this too much on the weather maps. But this is when you have cool air and cold air, and one is going faster than the other, causing that warm air to get stuck up there. And you get just a lot of clouds and some rain pushing around. But remember, we don't really test anything on this one. So that's a summary of the fronts, and What I want you guys to do now is the Google form about air masses, and then there'll be another Google form about fronts. Good luck, and I'll be available to answer your questions. Email me the questions, or you can post them as questions on the assignment, and I'll reply to you as soon as possible. Good luck.